the fight against fast track authority is ongoing in the Senate and the House. And essentially, the situation, and it's tough to get a real sense of what the state of play is. Yesterday afternoon, I guess really yesterday around this time, maybe a little bit earlier, Bernie Sanders forced a delay of the consideration of the bill that was crafted between Senator Ron Wyden and Orrin Hatch. He attempted to block the Finance Committee from being able to consider it. Essentially, what's going on here is that when you do not have the votes to defeat a bill, which I think clearly is the case in the Senate, what you want to do is you want to stall, because the more people hear about this bill, the more pressure is going to be put on their representatives. So Bernie Sanders tries to delay it in this committee. He does not sit on the committee, but he objected to a unanimous consent request from the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell to let the Finance Committee meet. Completely a procedural play. He rejected it because I guess Senate rules state that unless everyone agrees, the committee cannot meet during the legislative session. So they couldn't end up meeting until 4 p.m. that afternoon. The idea was that hopefully maybe there would be so many amendments that would have to be addressed that they would run out of time yesterday evening. They'd have to reconvene tomorrow, and the same thing would happen over again. Unfortunately, for those of us who don't want to see this trade authority pass, they were able to deal with all their work last night. They passed it through the committee. So it's going to head, I believe, at one point to the Senate floor. Now the action moves to the House. And today in the House, Senator Levin, who is the minority leader on the House Ways and Means Committee, is beginning to also consider a bill. The question in the House is, can you pass it with just Republican votes? Or will there be enough, I should say, Democratic votes to pass it with Republicans? It's unclear what the whip count is. But the Republicans are going to need at least 15 to 20 Democratic votes. Now that there is a rival Democratic bill that Nancy Pelosi is supporting, in other words, if you're one of these Democrats who are on the fence because you're generally a corporatist, but you don't want to get on the wrong side of your leadership, and you need to take a vote in favor of free trade, this Senator Levin bill may allow you to do that. But this bill, if it was sent back to the Senate, would fail because it deals with things like currency manipulation, which the other trading partners have said they don't want to get involved with. It also requires a bipartisan ad hoc committee to sign off on all the provisions that go into the final TPP. It includes stricter instructions for U.S. negotiators on labor rights and environmental protections. It requires negotiators to open up markets for U.S. automakers and agricultural exporters in ways that the other countries involved in the negotiations have already rejected. So this is essentially, hopefully, a poison pill. And now you have Pelosi essentially saying, I'm supporting this version of the bill. Now, make no mistake, it is unclear. I don't even know if it's clear if you're working in the House what's going on, frankly. It's impossible for us to know what Nancy Pelosi's agenda is here, whether there's a sense that, like, we can, if we start here with Senator Levin's, we can move it a little bit closer to the Wyden Hatch bill, and we can get what the president wants. Or maybe Pelosi is simply saying, I'm going to project that I am not against all trade deals, but I'm going to go with a version that I know will scuttle this one in terms of authority to pass it through the House and the Senate in the future. So it's very difficult to know at this point. And really, the only answer is for you to continue to call your representatives and your senators, because continued pressure will help.